There's only room for one. What are you talking about, David? We're all here. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It is a Wednesday, and thank you so much. I'm just looking down over here to see exactly what.
Hello, everybody.
There we go. Would you turn that down? I mean, I'm confused. I'm already living in multiple time zones, and now we know that we're in fact living in multiple time, literally, as they would say. So, yeah, but it's all groovy. So, all right, got all the buttons pushed. Hey, so welcome everybody. Favor be upon us all. This is a day of victory. That's all I got to say. There's actually an angel of victory. That angel's name, by the way, is La Juva. I had it all right there. Yeah, La Juve. There we go. Finally got it. Angel of victory. So, yeah, patron of renowned people. Yep, successful people and people making a difference in human history. We all are. So what's up? So good to see everybody. This is my story. Yeah. Well, welcome. Hey, David Castle, how you doing, brother? Much love to you and Rufus. Deborah Sloan, hello. Good to see you. Project Skyfall, Lost in Space. Susie Q, how you doing? Julianne, how you doing? Love the emails. That was an interesting dream. Told my lovely wife that dream, and she said she thought that was pretty cool. So, hey, Danny, good to see you. Hey, Nina, the Mystic, she has her show right after this one, the Hump Day show. So make sure you check it out. Shannon, how you doing? Saul, Robert V is in the house. Favor, I'll receive it, man. Just, as Roger Daltrey sang in Love, rain on me, Quadrophenia. Boy, what it triggers a memory. In my early youth, when I was selling the green herb, I mean, come on, folks, I was just like 16 years old. But anyway, got a job at a stereo store. Now, it was really far out because I had long hair. They didn't seem to care. They were paying me cash. So, and I sold a lot of stereos. But the cool thing about it was that's when Quad came out. How many of you remember that? And so you wanted to have a Quadrophoenix, stereo set. And so there were a number of artists. I believe the Beach Boys came out with an album, the Who, Quadrophenia, obviously. But yeah, it was pretty far out. Yeah. Anyway, those were the days. Yes. So BOSTO to all of us. Happy birthday if you got one. And you need to pre-order your angel cards. Go over. The link works because I used it. Go right over there to the Crystal Network. I tell you, Karen and the lady, they have just done a fabulous job on that website. It is a true portal, multidimensional, multi-level. There is such a wide, eclectic spirit beings in this thing that we've created called a soul tribe. So check it out. I ordered mine. Go over there. It's expensive, and these cards are going to be worth it. They're highly already. Al just drawing them out. That's a huge transference of intent, power, and the fact that it's also backed up with the Psalms. And I had made the suggestion, and Al picked up on it. But it's using the Amplified Bible for those Psalms. Now, those Psalms are powerful invocations. They're powerful spells. They're powerful curses, too. I mean, but each one of these angels, these archangels, 72 in all of them, they have a corresponding psalm that goes with educating them, getting them active in your life, as they say. So go over there. It's $2,000 is what it takes to get the order put in. So it's $50 per order. Hey, quality merchandise, well worth it. It will give you a return far greater than the $50. So what we need to do is roughly have about 200 people put in an order. So do it. You will thank you. You will. I'm just speaking already what has already been said. So do it. There we go. Where is the link? It's down in the description box. Just see it. It says the Crystal Network for sure. So check it out. Definitely. And tomorrow got Ryder Lee on. So part 3 of his vision. We've been privy enough to hear him talk about the first 2. So I'm looking forward to this as well. Going to get with Glenn Young. I tell you, there's just sometimes it's amazing that the interference that gets into something, but that is the Ball series. He's the one that did that research, and he has a follow-up piece on that. Going to get him on here for sure. And then here is the question. Oh, before I get too much further, let's just all take a second here, and on the replay, this will already be the past. But Cody Blue, Trina's puppet dog, he will be departing this earth in about 50 minutes, I believe. So let's just, dogs, we love them. They love us back. They have souls. We know this. We've seen this. So just for a minute, just surround Cody with love. He's going to be making the transition, a transition that all of us will be making. And wouldn't it be cool that we planted a seed of love, warmth, comfort as that animal transcends into the soul realm? I'm not sure what happens. I believe that our beloved animals were going to be with us on the other side if we so choose it. They're a part of us. There is a custom that the Native Americans, this is how I learned it, that you can, at the moment of their departure, if you're there, you can literally breathe in their soul as it's departing their body, and they then become attached to you. They're there. Isn't that cool? I think that's really cool. Yeah, we're powerful beings. The theme today's show is be kind to your mind, because you're really going to have to. There's a lot of stuff happening. How many of you saw, hey, Shannon? All right. Well, it's sad. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, Ben Davidson, Suspicious Observers. I read the story yesterday, but it was like, okay, so what's going on? We didn't get the whole story, but it's interesting. So SpaceX, Musk, putting up these low orbit satellites, right? Internet everywhere. Actually, it's the narrow net. The internet's passe, man. We're already at narrow net 2.0. But anyway, so they launched these satellites up there at the same time that there was, as Ben Davidson, it was a low level geomagnetic storm. And what happened to those satellites wasn't supposed to happen. And as all of you will go over there, see, they got whacked. man, that CME hit the Earth's atmosphere and fried him. He lost 40 out of 49. Hey, Martin and Heidi, how you doing? Good to see you. Much love. Hey, Gaia and Paul. So, Chloe, good to see you. Just stopping to say hello to everyone. S. Lee and Scotty Boy. Susie Q, what's up? Folks, the signs are everywhere. I mean, our magnetic poles are in excursion. They're on the move. The North has maintained a pretty good pace, about 5.2 miles a month. Hey, Energy Shifter, what's up? $1. Good to see you. Troublesome, good to see you as well. Think Agape Love, always good to see you. So yeah, you know, the internet was really wacky there for a little bit yesterday. And yeah. Oh boy, I know, it's like, okay. I like that, Energy Shifter, just busy shifting, aren't we all? I love that. Hey, Jack Dreaming, good to see you as well. But yeah, and you know, it occurred to me that I bet you the rest of those birds up there, they were designed by engineers that their worst case scenario of a geomagnetic storm it is so far below where it should be. I mean, the shielding, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Anyway, gonna be a party tonight. There we go. 11:11. And now it just turned 12:12, Nina, as I looked over there. Hey, Zigzag, how you doing? Good to see you. John Price, hello. So, here's a question. Thank you for everyone hitting the like button. There's 29 again. So what's the purpose of light? Anyone want to give that a shot? What's the purpose of light? Think about it. In the beginning was darkness. So what's the purpose of light? I mean, was everybody just stumbling around before then? I mean, I know we got this construct that says, well, no, man, you know, it was only the one. We don't know that. Got no proof of that. Just because some dude or dudette wrote it down, don't make it like down. We're not clowns anymore. I mean, you know, all right. So in the beginning was darkness. Can't we just admit that? So what were things doing back then? I mean, did they not know who or what they were or it was? I mean, did the beginning start in this darkness? Is that where the ending ends, is in the darkness? I mean, yeah. Don't know. Pretty interesting when you think about it. So what is the purpose of light? Think Agape Love says to shed light on truth. Yeah, well then, but think Agape Love, then what you're implying is that truth is in darkness. I mean, if you're going to shine light on truth, well, that implies truth was already there to begin with. Why did you need the light to see it? I'm just asking the simple questions, you know. I mean, all I'm trying to do is keep the conversation lively. That's all. Hey, Lisa, what's up? Hey, Joyce. Zigzag says light is information, but Zigzag, then what you're saying then that information doesn't exist without light, which is an artificial construct? I mean, isn't that what the book says? And it said, let there be light, and it saw that light was good. That implies that it didn't have any idea what light was. It could have been completely shocked to find that light was devastating. I mean, we have to take the assumption of all roles here. I'm just asking. I mean, It was in darkness because of evil. But wait a minute. But then that applies that evil was before light. And is evil really metaphorically connected to darkness? I mean, it's how we have been programmed to perceive these things. And it's just real interesting seeing the article. The different amount of thoughts going in on this. It's a deep subject. Zigzag says light has many meanings, though if we are depending on language, light can also be shade. Yeah. Catalyst for change. Dark had to be first. I mean, it's, that's what's so interesting about the Colburn Bible, the bronze books. The scribes that wrote those books give us a completely different perspective. They say light is actually the evil camouflaging itself as the good. They point out very succinctly, by the way, that everything came from the darkness, that where our perception of darkness is that we think that means to be blind. That's not it at all. You can see in the darkest. In fact, you can see better in the dark than you can the light. The light, if you look directly at the light source, is blinding. But the darkness is not. So again, we make this word association. Evil equates to darkness, and that darkness somehow is a overcomer of light, but it's actually the other way around. Light is the artificial means, and it is light that will. I mean, I never saw anyone die of skin cancer because they stayed in the dark. Never saw anyone get a third-degree skin burn because they were in the dark. Zigzag says we have a perception of a false light. Bingo. I mean, yeah, it's Scotty Boy said, well, Scotty, I'm just simply repeating what we have been taught and told. It appears that darkness is here before all else. And yet, when we think about the noble gases, the ether, what is the spirit realm? Do you think that the spirit realm has what? There's somehow this holy light? Is this the perception that we have? Are we so limited in our perception that we say that, well, light does not transcend over into the ethereal realm? Really? Says who? Gogo says, what is more powerful, light than darkness? Well, I'll put it this way. Which requires energy and which does not? Gogo, that would be my response back to you. And you see, the light of the one darkness, you see, they seen what was created and didn't kill the experiment because they seen it was good. Well, again, we're assuming, again, and you know what happens when you assume? It always makes an ass out of you and me. So don't assume here. We have been taught that, but we never tore down the construct to say, but well, wait a minute. If this being existed before other beings, it is a being of darkness. Only good light be black. Well, if you think about it, black is merely the combination of all light, whereas white light is segregated. It's only one aspect of light. See? And this is the point. What is the purpose of light? They say that when you die, now I've had more than enough NDEs, never been afraid of it, but what I do know and what I distinctly remember is the darkness. It's dark. But I did not perceive it to be evil, negative. It was, if anything, all enveloping. And then that extrapolates then, that when the departure happens and the transferring and the transmutation is taking place, they say that there is the tunnel of light. Now, do you go to the light or do you don't go to light? Black light shows how clean the room is. Ooh, there is an undecided choice. I haven't seen you before, but welcome. That is intuitive thinking. It is. Back in my LSD days, mescaline, peyote, etc. I always had a black light. When I lived at Family Connection, it was where the music room was. We had couple of black lights and the black light posters. Remember those? And it was always very cool because you're right. You could see, for instance, if you have dandruff, you don't want to be under a black light. If you committed a crime, you don't want to be under a black light. But being under a black light was kind of really cool. It didn't hurt my eyes. Loved the music, and the trip was pretty cool too. I mean, so yeah. And it's just my point. What is the purpose of light? We said we've been taught that light is good, but see, here's the conundrum. So taking that pretext, light equals good, right? Then why is Lucifer evil? Lucifer is the morning star, the light bearer. So are we, just because our programming didn't get it, that if evil truly exists, in which it does, and if there is a prince, a king, a god over evil, it's been taught to us and in many different religions and dogmas that, well, evil, darkness, but equates to Lucifer. Well, wait a minute. Lucifer is the god of light, the angel of light. So did we just not get it? That light is evil? Because, the old idiom, ignorance is bliss. That's the whole Adam and Eve story. They were ignorant until they acquired what? The light of knowledge. Hello, Devil Truex. Much love to you, dear. Hey, folks, I'm just discussing, it's good topic, take another sip, have another whatever, but, answer the questions honestly. That's all I say. So what is this? How can Lucifer be evil but be the bearer of light? If light is not, in fact, artificial construct and evil, making the God that everyone thinks that they are, the deity, the all, the creator, the everything, darkness. Because you see, in darkness, you don't need the constant draw of energy. Artificial light requires a constant flow of photons. Photons require an energy source. I'm not sure if darkness does. Does darkness require an energy source, a source of energy that we're not even aware of? Because true electricity is, in fact, in the darkness. It's not in the light. Electricity does not need light. It's in the unseen realm. Think Agape says they've lied to us. My question is, who was there when all of this? Yeah, that is the $64 trillion question. I agree. And it is a question because we study the occult here. And the occult is just hidden knowledge. But hidden is typically meaning out of sight, which means it's not in the light, it's in the darkness. If you hide something, how do you hide it in the light unless the light is what is hiding the truth to begin with? I mean, I'm just asking the questions. And then we further, hey, Rennie, everyone, Rennie, we're sending you love, dear. I mean, lots of love, lots of healing, girl. You're going to just see the old meter pegging out there all the way over there. But so we segregate. Humans are racist. We're segregationist. And it tells you how far we carry that over. We carry it over into the spirit realm. Well, you've got the good angels, and then you have to segregate those other bad ones. And then you've got these other things called, demons. Now, they are a different type of, the angels. And there's some story says that, well, there's some good and there's some bad. Then you got these other things called the jinn, who apparently been around a very long time, and there's some good and there's some bad. And all the plethora through all the ages of man, and whether it's been, polytheistic or monotheistic, it seems like the gods have to be good and bad. You can't have a good God. You know why? Because if there's no antithesis to that good God, you can't define what good is. It's only when you have the opposite that the other exists. See, I love the conversation. And that's why we come and gather here each day. It's to really dig deep on this. See, I know, writing to a person that I really enjoyed the discourse, there is a place that's even above faith. Now, I come from an environment where faith was everything. Without faith, you can't please God. You have to have faith. But there is something that's even above faith, and it's knowing. It's the simple state of knowing. And in that state of knowing, there is no vibration. There's no resistance. You could say that it's almost akin to nirvana, that place of peace. And a knowing is just that. You can't be moved. Doesn't matter what all the evidence around you says or proves. For you, you know. And I think we ought to get into that state more and more. And so being kind to your mind, you see, all of this begins to really jack with our minds, our mental thing. Mirror therapy, and I don't mean Skyrim. What I mean by mirror therapy is a therapy that is taught to top performers, top athletes, top actors and actresses, top CEOs. And if you learn to get into it and use it properly, it's amazing what it does to you. You see, we have our conversations with ourselves all the time. We're telepathic beings. But when you practice mirror therapy, what it is that you talk to yourself. And it's a healing time. The reason why most people, when they're, for instance, with the ladies, Y'all are masters at hiding emotion because you put on your face each day your makeup. That's why in many Christian circles, particularly the more Pentecostal, the more pure to the doctrine, it's a sin for a woman to put makeup on because makeup is the seduction of the female essence that blinds the man from not knowing who the woman is. And the makeup industry is the number one killer experimenter on animals. It is the number one industry that pushes more chemicals because it has an ever ready consuming eager market. Well, we didn't want to talk about this, did we? But it's important because what my point to that is, as I talk to my wife, she says it's automatic. She says, I really don't think about much. She says, but I do have amazing conversations in my head. I said, I bet you would. And so I was telling her, do you ever do self-talk? She said, no. And I said, well, if we tried this, let me know what it feels like. And so the exercise here is, number one, see how long you can just stare at yourself and see what your reaction is. What are you seeing? That is also an experiment for the third eye. It's an exercise because what you'll begin to see, as our good buddy Brian, when I was teaching him this technique, you can actually see the back of your head. In fact, there's a technique where you can actually roll your eyeballs and literally see your brain. Most people can't handle that. I'm not saying that you do that. It's very dangerous. But again, so the therapy is by you are the therapist. You are the patient. And it's loving yourself, giving thanks to you for being you. It's looking at yourself and not seeing any of the flaws, seeing yourself as the top. Now, I speak favor to all myself. I talk to myself in the mirror. Why? Because it's a reality. And it's the most integrating experience to bring what I call the physical, the soul, into the spirit. And it allows the expression. Because the fact is, most people self-negative talk to themselves all day long. And it's very difficult for them to look at themselves in the mirror and have a conversation. Number one, it feels very weird. Favor to you, Teresa. Right back at you, girl. But it does feel weird because you're bringing an aspect. Now, mirror magic, as you know, is the door to the other side. It's used in magic, particularly in the days when mirrors were not that well made. They were not that plentiful. Is what I'm trying to say. Regina, good day to you, dear. So this exercise, and it's amazing because when you start into the practice, start talking to yourself. What is your future? What is it that you really want to do? Talk to yourself on a one-to-one conversation. It's very, at first, again, it's a very strange experience, particularly when you look into the windows of the soul, these. And if you begin to look at these and concentrate, these suddenly become one. And when they become one and you're still talking to yourself, there are doors that open that you find yourself not even aware that you're having the conversation. And it's a good representation of what really is on the inside. The expression, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. As a man believes in his heart, so he is. But again, you have to trust yourself. That's all I got to say. You know what, Lisa? I'm right there with you. Yeah. Man, we beat ourselves up. I mean, most of us come out of an environment in our childhood. It's a freaking miracle that we're where we are. I mean, we are tremendously resilient beings. We have a resiliency that we can't be beat down. Oh, you may have us down for a little bit, but no. And that's what the most amazing thing is that I think that if we ever could be able to pull the veil apart just a little bit and really see these super beings that we are, I can't see the transition process into the spirit realm. What's that blazing river? Maybe the way old mirrors were made them more magical. Yeah. There's a lot to that. I think that's very true. Yeah. But any mirror, I mean, you can see in the back, I have, black mirrors. I mean, these black boxes have taken us over. It's like they invaded, and overnight, all of a sudden, everybody has these black boxes. We used to see the Anunnaki. They carried their little purse thing, and the little wrist thing. Is there a connection? Don't know. But back to the mirror. It's quite amazing. What I have found is that I don't have these physical texts because, quite frankly, I'll kick their ass. I mean, as a child, beating me is never going to work. You can't beat me into submission. I had a individual who was my father who did that. Couldn't do it. Broke my back, broke my arms. So to physically try to harm me ain't going to get you anywhere. Now, where my Achilles heel is that I had an individual who was trying to speak a curse into my life by telling me I was worthless. I would never amount to anything. I was, yada, yada, yada. Now, those are curses. It's amazing how parents can curse their children and then blame the children for the effect. And so when I used to see myself in the mirror, I saw the manifestation of those curses. But yet, the being me, the real me, was fighting the whole time with this soul me. Because I was more than a piece of shit. I was more than just being beat upon, thrown away, ignored, starved. No, I was more than that. And I knew I was. And things worked out in my favor that I got out of there. But it took decades to get that out. You have to become your own magician to break the curses that many times comes from the family, the bloodline. That's why curses follow families, poverty, sickness. disappointment, constant setbacks, because these curses are deep. And mirror therapy will bring these curses out, and you can banish them. But you have to see them for what they are. See, a lot of people are identifying with this. Yeah. It's because it's true. It's reality, folks. The thing about it is that as I look back on my journey through this plane, I just wish I had taken the natural instincts that I had and acted more quickly upon them. I'm a master at manifesting alternative solutions. But I'm just opening myself up here just to let you know that in my bloodline, and the thing about it is, the bloodline that was doing the cursing comes to find out that the real surprise was that I wasn't a part of that bloodline to begin with. And there was where the violation took place. But regardless if I knew or didn't know, it still happened. It wasn't until I realized really who and what I was. Julie, you're welcome. Welcome. But, and the thing about it here, I'll just be very candid with everybody. The reason why I was so devoted to my religion is that because that's what I am. I am a spiritual magician. I'm a creator. I created this. And even when I was thrown these curses, and they exist out there, folks, even the God of the Bible is one of the most major curses. He's the one who cursed the earth. I didn't. He's the one who cursed the woman. I didn't. But they exist, and they will bond to you. They will screw up everything. They will self-sabotage you. They will steal from you. And then here's where the spell kicks in. You begin to believe it. You begin to believe that, well, you know, the old expression, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. You heard that? Well, if it was something that's going to break, it's going to break with me. I'm telling you what, every goddamn time we go out the door, it's goddamn it, it's something's going to, you see it. And then this begins this curse cycle. And you won't do that to yourself in the mirror, but you will curse yourself away from the mirror. The whole point to this mirror therapy is that you have to break those things, and they're deep. They're a part of us, particularly if you come out of that type of environment. And then it really doesn't matter, because eventually most will fall into an abusive environment, whether it is through personal relationships, careers, within companies, within even social settings. And then you have the people who they come out of adolescence, the environment of high school. They could have the most strongest support system at home, but yet the social fabric of which they're going to be immersed in and are tears down and then invokes a curse that most are not even aware of. And this becomes what I call the social cluster. What we end up doing, we make fun of those. That's why we get into cliques. Cliques are covens. That's all they are. And particularly with young women who begin to menstruate, that particular age is very powerful. And again, they'll never associate themselves as with a coven, but the natural tendency is that that's what cliques really are. And within each clique, you will have typically what I would call the top witch. And many times these individuals are not even aware of this. Again, this is a process. And what happens is that you don't do that FaceTime because it breaks the curse. I'm just reading some of the comments. And this is how that's done. Because it's true, the universe is not short on supply of anything. Yeah, as a man speaks out of his mouth, so he is. Yeah. And that goes for women too. I don't know, we're gender neutral here, but yeah. And so, and I can tell you because in the spirit realm, there are those spirits that they're just pricks. They're I call them piss ants. They're weak, but they're freaking everywhere. And our auras in the etheric realm will show what we are really founded on. Are you founded in fear? When the phone rings, are you expecting bad news or good news? When you pick up the mail, are you expecting good news or expecting bad news? These transmit. You can see thoughts are color. Thoughts are vibrations. Thoughts are energy. And they will attach. They'll try to attach yourself. And they're the negative talkers. They're the ones who said, so you really think this shit works, huh? How did it work out for you in that religion? Work out too good for you, did it? How much money did you give away? And now look at yourself. So you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you really think that you have obtained a position of somehow power? I mean, look at your whole, you see, and this is that. And it's amazing because it will take your voice and be why? Well, because we have another thing each and every one of us have. And how a lot of these hitchhikers, these pissant, find out about this, every one of us have, how do I say it, a familiar spirit. Some can call it a guardian angel. I don't believe it's the same thing. These familiar spirits are spirits that attach themselves to you from your birth until your departure. I don't know if they're the scribes to the Akashic record, but I learned about them in the writings of Paul. Paul was, again, a master magician. And it's typically the familiars that will almost kind of sell your information out on into the spirit realm. She really thinks pretty bad of herself. And yeah, she's really been changing and you can see it in her aura, but I've got her record. And if the price is right, I can tell you how you can really be adversarial, etc. I just think it's, I mean, it's wild, I know, but it happens. The self-talk. And so again, just getting back, being kind to your mind. You see, our minds become almost addictive to abuse, self-abuse, self-negative talk. And a real good indicator is what is the first thing that you say? What's the first thing you think when you awake? The first thing out of my mouth is that this is my victory day. I'll name my day. And then the next thing is I have tremendous favor upon my life. I speak out. Those are the words automatically that come out of me. How about you? It sets that. The self-talk in the mirror. You start breaking the curses. You speak to yourself. And we could say, I, Scotty boy, I break that spirit, that curse that was spoken over me when I was a child. I rebuke that curse. It has no power over me, has no effect. And as if this moment, sometimes you can really write it down. I am free of any curse. And then you start looking at yourself and you're going, you're beautiful. Man, you're look at yourself. You're just like it's almost like you're reversing the aging. And you're a beautiful spirit being. Do you know good things are happening to you? Even right now, Wayne. Right now, things are going in your favor that you're not even aware of. There is 1,000 different things in the spirit realm. They see you in the color of favor. It's that beautiful kind of amber orange color. It's a glowing color. Your words have effect, and that's what I do. And if I have one of those bad days where the chatter is coming in, I'll just go in and shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. What was the movie that was? What was it? Dark City. Yeah. Shut it down. Shut it all down. Eric says, can someone help me with bad luck? Eric, I can tell you how you change that. This is how you begin to change that. The reason why it comes in is that because remember, like attracts like. And if you're used to always being beat down, it's a struggle. Yeah. And even when you're doing everything that you know to do, and then it seems like something, bam, and you go, well, what was that about? There's a deeper part of that. Maybe the bam was to say, well, if you had gone that way, the way that you were thinking, it would not have been turned out so well. Everything is connected. And when one thing gets bumped, then you begin a different path. And even if that is a negative path, you can turn that path from where it was initially intended back to where you were wanting to go. So there, and do this. We've been, as Trina was talking, and we've talked about this, the speaking to water. Well, why aren't you laying hands on yourself for 30 days and speak to the cells, speak to the water that's in you? How many of you have changed the energy of your own water, your own fluids? If it works on the outside, baby, it has to work on the inside. So why aren't you changing the structure of your crystalline form? Self-talk in the mirror does that. And then lay hands on yourself. As Grandpa Brian has shown, get that energy going. We all have it, for those of us who have perfected it, and then transmute it into the cells. See your cells renewing, reversing the toxicity. I mean, if it works with water, why shouldn't it work with you? John Price, I think it is possible to speak to beer. Listen, it's distilled, is it not? Fermented, right? Yeah, there's the chemical process that, but absolutely. Hey, David Berry, much love to you, brother. So, yeah. Teresa, that's beautiful. She said, every day I'm grateful for my life and now invoke my protection daily. And I tell myself there are no cures that can, no curses or no cures that can enslave me. I'm not sure how that on that. But hey, It works. And we're coming in a time where, man, it's going to get wild. Trust me, it's going to get wild. But we are creative beings. So, David Berry, much love to you, brother. Nancy says, I'm going to talk myself. It's a perfect time, Nancy. It's probably one of the more deeper meditative times a person can really get into. I mean, you think about it. You're concentrating. Boy, just think about what the words, and as you're putting on the makeup, just see favor begin just to flow over you. I mean, it's like the healing oil. If you ever been anointed with oil, I have, and it's the most, wow, it's an intense experience, but it's that healing that just comes over you. I got favor over me. My favor just permeates my body. The best of things, and in fact, there are such great surprises coming. In fact, the good news is coming on every wave, whatever, So there you go. As Lee says, Budweiser. Hey, it is what it is. All I can say. Lisa says you are waking up to a higher and higher vibration. It's incoming. Yeah. And just, man, transmute that. The angels love it. They love those beings that, like us, who speak these things, because it's life, it's power. And like attracts like. It sends a signal out into the universe that, hey, this gal right here, she's got it figured out, man. Let's make sure that favor only encounters her wherever she goes. Even if something that's going to be to her harm, we're going to make sure that it comes out to her profit. That's it. Lisa, thank you. We're all witty. I like that. Yeah. The birds are singing loud and around. Yes. And why do birds follow you around? Yep. Anytime. I love Karen Carpenter. Anyway. All right, folks. I'm out of here. Have yourself a fabulous day. Speak love to yourself. Edify yourself. Lift yourself up. And it'll start changing. Yeah. You'll start having that glow about you. You'll have that thing that people look at you and go, what is it about? What is it about that dude? It's like that woman in Target said, who are you? Anyway, there we go. Check out Nina's show. It's on an hour right after this one. Anyway, folks, I just love you, man. I tell you, I just love reading the comments. All right. Well, thank you, Little Red Haze. And, it's just a place where we all come. Yes. We all gather about just to chat about. Nancy says she is 72, but looks 23. I believe that, Nancy. I do. Absolutely. Listen, the aging process takes place. I just don't ascribe that it has to be the way that they say it does. I never grow old on the inside. Just more experienced, baby. All right. All right, folks. Much love to y'all. See you tomorrow.